Yeah, y'all
Well,
playing for
How
money?
many teams are there? How many teams are there? 10 or 12?
10. Yeah, 10.
For sure. Hey,
So,
who's your squad though? Who's your squad?
so I had the number 2 draft pick, so I took Luca, and then I think after that I picked up either Bradley Beal or Tatum, and then I got Chris Middleton, John Wall, Rudy Gobert, Anthony Edwards, Covington, and Jared Allen, and I scooped up Aaron Gordon off waivers, but I don't know how. I hope he's gonna be nice. Yeah, I'm hoping he's gonna be nice. But
we'll see. We'll see what's up.
Is LeBron playing again?
Let me check the injury report.
I feel like he should still be out.
It says no injured players, but I know they cap it.
Let's see. I can check that right now.
Yeah, they both out. Both out.
Yeah, he's out. Yeah, they gave him 4 to 6 weeks. Damn.
Yep.
That sucks for the Lakers.
AD, no timetable, bro. Man, this is.
It just seems like they're just waiting. Seems like they're just waiting for next season now, but
they on some Clipper shit right now, bro. Clippers did it first.
Nah, man, Celtics did it first.
No, I'm talking about what's it called? Just sitting out, just posting.
Oh, sitting out. Oh, that's Spurs did it first. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Kawhi made it a league-wide thing.
It wasn't Tony Parker
and
Manu. They was doing that shit too, though.
Load management.
Management.
Yeah, that was for Tim Duncan though and them though, because they was old as hell.
Yeah, but I mean, it made sense for them, but
niggas in their prime. I don't know about all that. All that.
All right, let's not get too deep into that. All right, so this is mostly bullshitting with Mike, Brandon, and Solomon. I'm Brandon.
I'm Mike.
No shit.
For sure. No, it's good.
It's our first time. We'll get better.
Yeah, we'll get better with it. Basically, this is just like the catch-up discussions between 3 ex-college roommates where we bring our very serious takes to all the important and interesting, impactful topics that are going on in the world. We go into great detail about all their nuances, all the details and things. But, honestly, we just mostly bullshitting. So that's why we call the show that. Each week we bring a topic to discuss and we talk about it for 10 minutes max. Some weeks we're going to have special guests come in where they themselves bring a topic to discuss. And for each topic, we've all done extensive research so we can provide, sound, educated opinions. But, honestly, we just mostly bullshitting. So first, let's start with Mike. What you got to start, to talk about this week?
I figured we kick this off kind of with the Lil Nas X shoe debacle. For those of you who haven't seen it, Lil Nas recently released some he developed some shoes that have Satanistic undertones attached to them, and there's even a drop of human blood in the shoe, and it's caused quite a stir on social media. Several celebrities have kind of come out and said that it was sus. I saw Nick Young had a tweet, as well as a couple other people. So my question to you guys, how do you guys feel about it? Do you think that it's sus?
I mean, I think he should be able to express himself the way he wants to. At the end of the day, I think it wasn't even Nike. It was him and another collab. They put out 666 shoes. And I mean, we live in America, bro. This is what it's all about. You are able to have your own expression, your own thoughts. If people don't like it, it is what it is. I mean, I think he came out with an apology video and it was just like a troll, because that's all he do. He troll. Like, that's all I see him as. I see him as a troll.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to see like the reaction to it. I just didn't actually. I didn't expect it. I didn't even think of it as news. I only saw the reaction to it from Nick Young on Twitter saying, my son will never wear Nike ever again. And I'm like, huh. All right.
Man. And then he claimed that his account got hacked. I was like, that was a damn lie.
No, he for sure probably said that. He's probably tweaking when he saw that.
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
I mean, I think Solomon's right. Like, we live in America where that's like our thing. Like, we have freedom of speech and we can, express whatever we want, but to a certain extent, for sure, I think. And I mean, I feel like I have freedom of speech to say I think it's sus. Like, if you support the devil, like that just means you support everything that comes with that. Like people have like killed people in the name of the devil. They've hurt people, they've hurt kids, they've done terrible things, in support of the devil. Like if you think about like who Vlad the Impaler is, like that's a real historical figure who is like that's who they based Dracula off of. And he was like drinking people's blood for real. He was like impaling people at the stake for real, like going into towns, killing women and children because he felt like he had like sign like this pact, you know what I'm saying? So it's like people who have that imagery in their head, like they can take that and they can run with it however they want. So you do have to have like some sort of like accountability and responsibility, like especially. I mean, he's a kid though, so I mean, I think it's just like he's just being a kid.
Yeah, but playing devil's advocate, no pun intended. I thought that Lil Nas's response was actually pretty good in the aspect of, he came out saying we all know that he's a gay man, and growing up his entire life, he was told that he was going to hell for being gay. So this was kind of his way of just kind of embracing that, I would say. At this point, Nas doesn't make music. Lil Nas doesn't make music for me, I would say, but he has the right to kind of express himself as he sees fit, especially coming from the position that he's coming from. So that's kind of like my take on it. Like it's really it's not our business how he.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll just go add on to that. I was just gonna say, like, I think he posted something about him, like there's like a note to his 14-year-old self. I think it was just like more of a reactionary thing to like how people considered, being gay is simple. And so he just wanted to embrace that wholly so he could, I guess, potentially let other kids feel comfortable in the fact that this is the worst that can be. If you're seen as the devil, this is what it looks like. This is the worst it can be in your life. So to give other kids a chance for them to feel more comfortable in their own skin. That's kind of how I saw it. He might, like, the thing is, there's always nicer ways to put it into action or more professional ways to go about it. But as an entertainer, as a celebrity, at the end of the day, they're doing this shit for clicks and views. And like this is going to, like, even though there is a message behind it, you can always have a reason behind it. When was the last time y'all saw Lil Nas X in the news?
Never. Not until this.
Yeah. I think
not since Old Town Road.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think it was just a personal ploy to actually just get himself, back into the light. And right. This is the best way to do it.
Right, but I mean, is this gonna last? Like obviously it's a gimmick. So it's like if you're just doing this like as a joke, then you're not really doing it as an artist. Like you're not an artist, you're a joke. In my opinion, like you're a comedian. You're like Weird Al Yankovic, damn near. To me, like it's a parody. Like everything you're doing is satire. It's not meant to be taken seriously. So if that's what I'm saying. He's a kid. He doesn't understand long term like how this is gonna like reflect on his life. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you're that guy who just said whatever because you're trying to get attention. You attributed yourself to the worst of yourself because you knew that's what's gonna cause controversy.
Yeah, and I kind of felt like that might be where Lil Nas's career would go, especially because Old Town Road, huge hit. I'm sure he didn't expect it to be that big. So there's the only way to stay relevant is to kind of pull stunts like this to kind of stay in people's heads and continue to be talked about. Because like I think that song actually ended up like the YouTube video had a shit ton of views, obviously, from whatever his latest music video was, but because of like what was attached to it.
Yeah, it's a song. Like I was doing an after school program where I was doing like coding. I was teaching kids coding, and they like had like assemblies or like little lunchtime things where they were allowed to play music. And at the time, Old Town Road was a hit. And they love that song. Like it's not just like weird kids. It's like every kid like loves that song. So it's like you're not just
Yeah, I like
affecting
that song.
like yes, I'm saying you're not just affecting, you know, people who are marginalized. Like you have a very, very wide audience. And I feel like he needs to be more responsible for that and just understand like, yeah, you can express yourself and yeah, like you can do what you feel is right. And I think a lot of people like compare him to like Marilyn Manson, but then like that's just like not really, I don't know. He's a grown ass man. He's like he's you know what I'm saying. So like we're gonna do this. Like if he's gonna keep doing this for a long term, then maybe that's who he wants to be. You know. And then I can't really say anything about it after that. But if he's just doing it as a gimmick, I'm like that's stupid.
True. The one thing I'd want to bring out there is this is pretty much how he came up though. Like Old Town Road was, I'm not exactly sure how he came up, but I'm pretty sure before Old Town Road became a hit, he was attempting to put his songs as the audio behind like certain memes and like GIFs or GIFs. And like, this is like how he attempted to come up. This is the formula he knows. He knows that formula of getting like that popcorn time attention, that microwave attention. Like, and one of them just, even though it was like, he milked Old Town Road. How many, like, even though it was a microwave moment,
yeah,
he put that microwave on like 8 minutes, bro. Like it was a long ass microwave because he put Thug on it. Like,
yeah, he about to burn the motherfucker. He burnt
it.
The
whole house might burn down after this one.
He put mac and cheese in there with no water.
Year of remixes. Whole year of remixes, bro.
No,
so
all right.
But
we gotta go to the next topic though. We gotta go to the next topic. But that was some really good contextual information though. So great contextual information
I got you,
to
bro.
this situation. For sure. All right. So the next topic, my topic, I just want to talk about, you know, the NBA, you know, the state of the NBA right now. Like the topic that people really be talking about is like the Nets. Are they gravy training? Are they like doing too much because they got Harden? You know, they already had Kyrie and KD. Then now they got Blake. Then they got LaMarcus. You know, Dinwiddie's not even playing. You know, Dinwiddie's damn near an all-star himself. So it's like they're just like, oh fuck.
And wet boy Joe Harris.
And
wet boy Joe Harris.
Man, Jeff Green been wet. Jeff Green, his 3-point field goal percentage is hella high. So it's like they just got shooters everywhere. You know, I don't know what happened in the game today. They might have lost. They played Houston at home.
Yeah, but we haven't even seen them at full strength yet. KD has not played with James Harden.
Do y'all see that thing about KD and Michael Rappaport?
Yo, that was hilarious, bro. Bro, I can't even understand.
They're both so petty.
I know. It was a match made in heaven, honestly. Like
for real, like they're really friends though.
I can see that. I could definitely see that. Apparently, I heard it started from KD inviting Michael Rappaport to the game, and instead of giving him courtside, he gave him 6th row.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Didn't pay for the Uber, didn't pay for like for him to come out. No dinner.
His son made a YouTube video about that, and he was just like grumpy the whole time. He was on the plane, man, in the Uber. Man. Like, I was dying.
I mean,
he's a comedian though, right? And he's a good filmmaker though, and a good actor too. I will say that. What were you about to say, Mike?
I was gonna say, I mean, he do got the money on his own though. If he wanted to sit courtside and pay for his own Uber, though, it's not like KD flying him out.
Right, he was just doing it for social media, I think. It was just like let's just make this a social media thing, promote our stuff.
That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like to me too.
But how do you guys feel about that? Like, do you guys feel that, you know, making these super teams, does that put an asterisk like on winning like the title, or does that like, you know, taint the league, or, you know, taint your legacy in the league?
I think at this point,
from a modern perspective, like we're kind of old, but we're not like old enough to like really know about like Magic and them, you know what I mean? Like we can talk about it, but we won't be like accurate.
I think in the long term, it's good for the league. because then, teams have to really step up. I think after the Warriors, we saw teams like really start to get better. Like we saw Dame and CJ McCollum start to hoop. Like we saw teams like start to hoop like hardcore. Like, so I think it's good for the league, but right now I think that was too extreme.
Did you say the Warriors made teams better? Is that what you just said? That the Warriors made other teams better?
They had to start.
One more time.
They had to start competing harder, and I think most of it was probably because of, I would say, Steph, because teams realized that they had to start shooting threes a lot more if they wanted to keep up, and that's kind of what brought Dame and CJ McCollum to just start just pulling threes like it's nothing. Right. And a lot of teams got better at shooting as a result to try to keep up with Steph and Clay. And then when KD joined that mix, it just turned it into a whole nother level of now players we need even more athletic and more talented players in the league. And so and that kind of encouraged, teams to look all over and they've already been doing it, but look all over the world for talent that can compete.
Yeah, how do you feel about it, Solomon?
I think it does not matter at all. I think the Nets are doing what is available to them. I feel like there are players like Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge who want to win a ring. It's pretty much this is what capitalism is supposed to be, bro. Like, right. Even though this is a league where there's a cap on the market, if the teams are able to fit that market cap and they're able to bring on these players who are willing to play, because it seems like Blake Griffin has already turned himself around from the Pistons days. Like he's playing like he's feeling like himself. Like he looks like he's playing like for the Clippers now, almost. Like it's almost he ain't bouncy like that, but it motivates players. It gets other players motivated. And like Mike was saying, just like the Warriors motivated Dame and CJ, the Nets are going to motivate other players in the East. They're going to, like Oladipo would not have gone to the Heat if the Nets were looking this nice. He wanted to go to a team that was going to give him a solid chance at, winning a championship. And there's going to be more competition that becomes of it. It's like when you try to make it fair, like what does fair mean? Like you have LeBron James in this league. Like there is always going to be a situation where life is not fair for you. If you are playing against one of the best players all the time, there are situations where it's just not going to be fair. And so I think teams have started to realize that. Superstars have started to realize that. Like, I am not going to be able to win in this league unless I do this, this, and this.
You got to get better. Right.
Just got to get better.
Because at one point, you got to just figure, like, aren't we men? Like, aren't we? Like, this is about competition. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, aren't we? Like, this is about, like, like, you know what I'm saying?
I think the fear just comes from not wanting to be another Charles Barkley or I hate to say it, Carmelo. Like they don't want to be players that were great but never won a championship. Because like those, Karl Malone, like that stigma will stick with him for the rest of his life. Like that will always be the knock against him as why he's not in this tier of players. So people want to be able to at least do that early in their career so that they can get their championship and then not have to worry about it later in the future. They'll have their spot solidified in the NBA ratings tier of top players.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, man. And I don't think it's going to ruin the league. I don't think it'll, like the small market teams might get hurt from it, but they also might get better draft picks out of it. They might get that next dude. Like, I wouldn't call Dallas a small market team. I might call them a mid-market team. But they got Luka. Like the Hawks got Trey. Like there are going to be other teams that are going to pick up nice pieces that as a result of this, like it will eventually balance out. And so it's only going to be a matter of time. Like the scales, like the NBA is trying to set it up so the lottery picks are a bit more even, so it doesn't incentivize losing. But even if you are in the bottom three, because right now what I see is I'm not sure who on the Timberwolves got suspended for pretty much no reason. I think it was Malik Beasley.
I mean, he got suspended for
he wasn't for no reason. That was not for no reason.
Wait, what did he get suspended for?
He pulled up on somebody. He pulled up. Somebody was outside of his house, just some random person, and he pulled up on him with a gun. It was like, "Get out of here!"
Oh, word.
And so they called the police, and the police show up, and he got like hella weed and guns in the house. It's like a rented house. I think somebody took it for him, but like
his girlfriend at the time took the fall for him.
Yeah.
And then, but he still got in trouble. Then he cheated on his girl with Larsa Pippen. And like, so then he got the charges. Yeah, that boy be wild.
I should have done my research.
Yeah. I was like, why Larsa Pippen?
Wait, so quick, who's winning the championship this year? Each person say a name. We'll talk about it later, but just say a name.
Who else? Who else?
The Brooklyn Nets.
The Brooklyn
healthy.
Nets.
Fully healthy.
Brooklyn Nets, bro. If Kevin Durant is back, if James Harden is back, if Kyrie Irving is back, like all they need is one person playing defense. One.
I don't think Brooklyn's gonna make it.
Pacing,
Brooklyn to me seems like a team that's like the Lakers when they picked up Karl Malone and Gary Payton when they were trying to like gravy train. Like I feel like people's egos are gonna get in the way when it really gets down to it. When people start missing shots, I feel like it's going.
But it's like, are they going to miss shots?
They're going. It's a 7-game series. It's a 7-game.
You're talking about two people who had the scoring title, and James Harden and Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
And then Kyrie, who probably could have had it if like he wasn't riddled with injuries his whole career. Like these are 3 people who could have arguably or who could win the scoring title if they so chose.
Adding 2 all-stars onto that.
But they're both busted though.
Yeah, LaMarcus is washed. I'm not too worried about that.
All right, who's winning MVP?
I still think Blake has stuff.
I think Blake still got a little bit left in him, bro.
I got to see it. But who's winning MVP?
Man, like the way right now, I would say James Harden.
James Harden.
I would also say James Harden.
I just feel like once the full team's back, like those numbers aren't going to be as crazy. Mm-hmm. But like this man he's going off.
KD likes to run point. That's what things broke down with us in the Warriors because KD likes to run point and Draymond likes to run point. So and Steph lets Draymond run point, and it's hard to let Steph. It's hard for Steph to let Draymond and let KD run point. So
yeah, because the way I see it, KD is essentially like if things go the way I think they should with the Nets, KD would just become a spot up shooter.
He doesn't like to do that.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah,
he doesn't like to do that because that's what he was doing for us.
That's
what he was doing for us in 2017, and we were untouchable in 2017. In 2018, he was like, I don't even want to do that.
Yeah,
we were still kind of untouchable.
But against Houston, it was like, bro, let's just run the play. Let's just run the play.
I think in this situation, I think James Harden is a proven point guard who's shown like he makes all of his teammates better. Every single person on the floor is better when he's on the floor. I think KD can recognize that because Kyrie recognized that. He said, Kyrie of all people was like, hey, that's the point guard. It's not me. It's him. I'm shooting guard. I'm shooting.
Because Kyrie want to be like Kobe. That's why. Like
they all want to run the point. They all want to run the point. That's all I want to say. All right, so Solomon, your topic. Let's go.
Yeah. So you know what time it is. We're in California. This is 2021. We're a little bit over a year since the COVID-19 pandemic has swept across the nation. And basically, I'm just gonna ask y'all straight up: have y'all gotten the vaccine yet? Have y'all got it?
I got my first dose 3 weeks ago. Got my second dose coming up in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean,
Pfizer or Moderna?
Pfizer.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, I have not gotten a vaccine yet.
I feel you. I personally have. Got both my shots. I'm very thankful. I mean, nothing has obviously happened to me as of yet, but man, I'm just very excited for the world to kind of come back into order almost.
When did you get your second shot?
I got my second shot March 22nd.
Okay. Yeah. So you're well into it.
I'm well into it, man. So I've been yeah, I think most of it, I think I should have all the antibodies formed in me, so I should be all good, bro. I should be great. But I'm gonna ask you, Brandon, do you plan on taking it?
So my thing with the vaccine, is I'm aware that it is an experimental vaccine, meaning the companies that create and manufacture the vaccine are not liable for any vaccine injury that may occur. So, I have seen some people have adverse effects to the vaccine. These are documented things.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to wait, kind of like I'm very careful. I got hand sanitizer, wear my mask everywhere. And it seems like even if you're vaccinated, that's what's going to be required, when you're out and about for at least another year. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So if I can just wait another year while they're doing that.
So you're essentially just saying you're waiting for the herd immunity thing to go on.
Basically, and then once that happens, and then like they have like a more consistent, quote unquote, actual vaccine that they're going to be held more liable for, then I'll feel more safe taking it, for sure. But they're not forcing anyone to take it, like even government officials and military.
So what are the adverse effects that you've heard of?
I've heard of people like one dying, Marvin Hagler and Hank Aaron passed away shortly after taking the vaccine. And I just heard of people just like, having really like bad effects, like having to be sent to the hospital because of the vaccine. Like, I don't know too many details about what they were sent to the hospital for. But I know that there are some people who were sent to the hospital because of, how they were reacting.
I see that. I mean, I've heard a couple of people who've said they felt like really sick. They were like, my sister was definitely sick. She couldn't move for a day. Not like all the way move for a day, but she just wasn't feeling herself. I've heard my next door neighbor as well wasn't feeling too well. And it was definitely concerning to hear. But for the most part, I looked into like the trials, the diagnoses, and like I know for Pfizer and Moderna, they're using an mRNA strand, which is very experimental. This is like the first type of this type of vaccine to be used on like the human population. I think the Johnson & Johnson is DNA based, so it's more like your traditional flu vaccine. But you're right. I didn't actually know that like the companies were not going to be liable for, like patient adverse events or deaths. But to like ask, I'm just going to ask it, are companies liable for like adverse of like events for like the flu shot or like a hepatitis shot, or are they?
I have no clue.
Okay, gotcha.
But I mean, every vaccine is going to give you're going to feel something from it, and that's normal. For if you get the flu vaccine, it's normal to feel a little bit sick after it. I'm sure when they found the fucking vaccine for polio, I'm sure people were lined up to get that shit. Like, it's just one of those things that you just kind of have to put your faith in it and trust it.
Yeah.
And I know that's difficult to do, especially with things that have happened in the past. But I think just right now, like we just need to I just want things to go back to normal. So that's why I'm doing it. I had the first dose. I'm fine. Nothing crazy so far. Solomon's fully vaccinated. Look at him. You're looking at him right now.
I'm alive and well, brother.
Yeah.
Alive and well.
I'm just going to assume that it works.
How'd y'all feel though if y'all couldn't have kids later?
Yo,
we mostly bullshit.
No, you want some? We mostly bullshit. No.
Damn, I should have froze some sperm.
You might have to put a little slap on that.
It's just things like that. But I want to get into like some of the theories because I really want to talk about like where this disease even came from. Because some of the most interesting conspiracy theories to me are that this disease could possibly have been man-made in a laboratory. And there are scientists out there in the world that are claiming that this is possible. The World Health Organization just said it's extremely unlikely that it's man-made, and that it's more likely that it came from like a bat in like the wet markets out in Wuhan, or Hunan. I think that's what it.
Wuhan, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like they don't have anything definitive. They didn't say anything definitive.
You can't have anything definitive because it was just like it's hard to trace back, like, you know, patient zero. It's really hard in real time to, especially as something that blew up as kind of rapidly as it did in terms of the spreading of the virus.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really hard to definitively say where, when, and how it happened. There's only going to be theories. Me personally, I believe those theories mostly because of the viruses that have occurred over the past like 20 years, like the H1N1 virus, SARS virus, like the swine flu. All of them did originate from animals, from my knowledge. And so I think there was actually like precautionary like statements being said, like when Obama left office, to say like once the pandemic response team was stripped, I think back in 2018 or 17, this was like listed as one of the potential issues that could have resulted, because there has been a trend escalating due to the nature of viruses that have been going on,
right.
Because we are so connected. Like with every passing like decade, we become more and more connected. Like 100 years ago, like we literally, like when you think about it, we started flying on planes in 19 something. It's like over the past like century, we've become so much more connected as a people, and that is pretty much why like these types of viruses are going to escalate more and more. But in terms of man-made, I personally, it's hard for me. I like, I'm not gonna lie, I gotta just say it. Like, I am very anti-conspiracy because I have like, there's like a law that I've read about, like the law of like lies. It's hard to keep, like the time you can keep a lie a secret is just impossible with the amount of people that is added onto this lie. So if there was someone who like actually made that vaccine, like a person, how long would it have taken for him to tell someone? Or like what, like in that group, like if there was 10 people in a group that made this vaccine, how long would it have been for these 10 people to tell one other person? After that, how long would it have been? Like, and so in my thoughts, I think it's, if that was the case, it would have come out, because that's easy to identify a patient zero. I think due to the fact that we have an indetermined patient zero, or where it came from, is the reason why I believe it's an animal. But I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Right. I just think it's kind of suspicious. This is just my logic on the situation. I don't have any, these are the facts that I know, is that, you know, if it came from people like messing around with bats, I feel like people mess around with bats all over the world. It's just suspect it happened in a place right next to a laboratory that studies coronaviruses that come from bats. It's just like,
is that really where, that's really where, like there's a laboratory there.
There's a laboratory in Wuhan where they study about coronaviruses that come from bats.
Damn.
They're like a bat farm.
Damn, I feel like they should have for sure. So it's possible.
It leaked from.
I feel like
possible it leaked from like
that experiment.
Right. It's possible it's an experiment that leaked. I mean, like China has no rules.
So like they didn't necessarily mean
biological experiments. And
Yeah.
I just think that I think it's like a Chinese cover up. That's my opinion on the whole thing. I just like, they just don't care, and like something got out. Something.
I can see that, like a bat got loose, and then
Right, you know,
they happened to someone in the wet market caught it, sold it.
Right.
This is like this is like the worst intro you could possibly have to like Batman. Like the opposite of Batman Begins. It's like,
it's really, yo, this whole thing is a movie. This whole thing is a movie.
Yo.
That's what I'm saying. If we find out that that's actually what happened, they should just make that into the movie, that that's what happened, because that's the conspiracy theory already. So you can just make it into a movie right now.
because I'm pretty sure that the intro to Batman Begins was the Batman like going into his cave, getting flustered with these bats.
Right.
Imagine like flipping that, someone getting bit by a bat becomes a supervillain.
Coronavirus. We have to stop him.
I would have put it past Hollywood, bro.
He's just running around coughing on people. You just going on airplanes, just collecting all his sweat.
But I mean, if that was the goal, like why would they do it? What was, I mean, I guess like a lot of people did get a lot richer from this in the stock market. Or the rich, they say the rich got a lot richer during this time. So is that, so it's a plot, but
it weakened the American dollar. We had to print hella money because our economy stopped.
But I feel like everybody should have had to print money. Well, if we had better leadership, we probably wouldn't have been.
China's citizens, they don't play around. Like they were back to normal way a long time ago.
Yeah. They got everything under control.
They were back to normal first.
They knew that under Donald Trump, we'd be fucked, pretty much.
Maybe. I'm saying it might have been like a 7-year, 10-year plan.
They just had
Damn, so Donald Trump got elected was a conspiracy by the Chinese government, not Putin.
Or China. I mean, the Chinese working with the Russians. They clicked up on that communism. I feel like that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like the real battles in the world are between communism and capitalism. Capitalism is a joke, but just the idea of capitalism. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like those are the things that are like always like in contention.
They're always gonna fight.
Right.
Because they're like opposites of each other.
On every level in life. Like
so are we about to have a second Cold War then?
We're already having it for sure.
We're having it. We're in it.
I mean, like they're hacking each other. They're hacking each other left and right.
Hacking each other. Yeah.
They're hacking each other left and right.
Political interference. I see it.
Yeah. Yeah. You didn't hear about the solar winds thing that happened with I don't know. It was like Russia or China, one of them. But there was a big cyber attack. Yeah, there's a big cyber attack on like the Pentagon or something recently.
Oh yeah, I think I do remember seeing something like that.
Yeah, that's our time for today, man. We got to get up out of here.
For sure, man.
Yeah, but we want to. Yeah, this was hella fun. We definitely gonna keep doing this. You know, this is at least for us cathartic.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? We chilling again, even though we in different spots of the world. You know, we can still communicate over technology. You know, thank goodness for that. And yeah, we're just gonna keep doing this. And thanks to all of our listeners, anyone who's listening right now.
Shout out to y'all.
Yep. This is mostly bullshit.
Thanks, y'all.
All right, have a good one, y'all. Peace.
Yeah, peace.
Peace.